Welcome back, CAA fans, to CAA Women's Basketball Insider, where Monica Moore joins us as always to break down all the action. Monica, thanks so much for being with us.
Absolutely. It's getting to be the best time of year.
Yes, it absolutely is. Now, we talked last week about how much better Delaware was playing, and that success continued last weekend. The Blue Hens ran their winning streak to five with impressive victories over Monmouth and William and Mary. What impressed you about Delaware's performance against two teams above them in the standings?
Yeah, I have to tell you, Jamie, I feel like the recipe for success for Delaware remained a lot the same. So they 5 game winning streak, which is the longest winning streak to date of the Sarah Jenkins era. And they, of course, have the longest winning streak in league play right now, tied with Campbell. So that is very exciting for the Blue Hens. But there were three big things that stood out to me this week for Delaware. First of all, they can flat out score. They have the fourth best scoring offense in the CAA. They score the basketball averaging 62.9 points per game. They put up 82 against William and Mary. They put up 70 against Monmouth, and they are efficient offensively. They're third in the league in offensive efficiency. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about with Delaware is how balanced they are offensively. We talked about this a lot last week, but they are now 8-2 when they have at least four players in double digits. Now, against Monmouth, they had four players in double digits. Andia Charisier had a season high 21 points. Chloe Wilson, Tara Cousins, Rebecca D'Amica also had double digits. And against William and Mary, they had five players in double digits. That is truly impressive, balanced offense. Again, Charisier had a career high 24 points. And if you were impressed with her point production, let's talk about her offensive efficiency. That was 9 of 11 from the field. And it's always a good sign when last week you had a co-player of the week. It was Tara Cousins. This week, you have a different player on your roster who is CAA player of the week in Andia Charisier. So if you're having back-to-back CAA players of the week and it's a different player, that's a good sign. Finally, they got off to hot starts in both of their contests this week. Against Monmouth, they were up by 10 at the half. Against the Tribe, they scored 8 of the first 10 points, and they were up 23-14 at the end of the first quarter. They ended up winning that game by 23. If you're off to a hot start in a game, that's usually a good sign. Now, for Delaware, it is going to be a tougher week. They're going to go on the road. They're going to go down to Elon. They're going to go down to North Carolina A&T. We'll see if they can continue doing these three things that have led to such great success for the Blue Hens.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a great week for the Blue Hens, and another team that is starting to hit their stride is Towson. The Tigers have won three of their last four after beating Hofstra and Stony Brook last week. What has been the difference for the Tigers as of late?
Well, I'm definitely seeing some similarities between what we're talking about for Delaware and what we're talking about now with Towson this week. Now, I will say against Hofstra, they did not get off to their best shooting start. They shot 18% in the first quarter. They were down by 9 at the half. But after that first quarter, they got red hot from a shooting perspective. They shot 50% or better for the remainder of the game. They had four players with 9 or more points, including India Johnston, who had the game high 15 points and a game high 7 assists. So it was such a good day for her, both from a shooting perspective and from distributing the basketball. And they had 26 points coming off the bench. Now, it does help to have a player like Nay Staten coming off the bench. She doesn't usually start, even though, to be fair, she has the second highest percentage in minutes played on the team, and she's second highest in points per game for Towson with 11.1. But when you have her coming into the contest, that's a huge advantage for the Tigers. Now, against Stony Brook, things were a little different. Towson never trailed in that game. They led most of the way. I think for about a minute 36, the game was tied, but they really asserted themselves in that contest. They shot the ball so well, particularly from 3 point range, shooting 42.3% from the field, 46.2% from behind the 3 point line. That was their second best 3 point shooting percentage of the season and their best in league play. And once again, they got 27 points off the bench. Nay Staten did have 15. And I thought Deja Bristol, who is the Northeastern transfer, was tremendous with her season high 16 points off of 5 of 7 shooting.
Absolutely. Now, Monica, let's go ahead and look ahead. It's an important weekend ahead for two teams that are at the top of the standings. First place North Carolina A&T visits William and Mary on Friday, and then they return home to face Delaware. What are some keys in those two matchups?
Well, I think it's important to note. So North Carolina A&T has already played Delaware. So we've already seen that matchup this season. North Carolina A&T, they were the victors on January 10th. They won by 16. In that game, they had a plus 14 advantage in points in the paint. Now, Delaware only had two players in double digits. And we've told you that a big part of their style and their game is having lots of different players scoring lots of points. And I think one of the big reasons for that, we've talked about this with North Carolina A&T. They have the best scoring defense in the league. And that's going to be important for them against Delaware. That's going to be important for them against the Tribe. William and Mary has the third best scoring offense in the league. And of course, Delaware shoots the ball very well. So I think the North Carolina A&T defense, that's going to have to be huge for them this week. And then the other place where I think North Carolina A&T can have a real advantage this weekend is on the glass. When they played Delaware before, they had a plus 15 rebounding margin. And listen to this, they had 18 offensive rebounds in that game compared to just 4 for Delaware. So I think that can be another big difference maker for North Carolina A&T. So look for them to play that Aggie style defense and really hit the glass this week against the Tribe and the Blue Hens.
Now, another team to watch is second place Drexel, and they head to North Carolina to meet Campbell and Elon. What do you expect from this southern road trip for the Dragons?
Well, and so Drexel has already played Elon earlier this season. So we can look a little bit at that matchup and see what happened. Drexel won that game 64-37. And the biggest factor in the Dragons win was they held Elon to 10 of 55 shooting in that contest, and none of the Phoenix reached double digits. Like the Aggies, Drexel is known in this league for their defense. They are second in league play in scoring defense. They hold their opponents to about 54 points per game. And so that Drexel defense is going to have to be really important for them this weekend, especially when you look at Campbell, because they have one of the best scoring offenses in the league. They average around 67.4 points per game in league play. So I'm really excited to see that Campbell offense for the first time against the Drexel defense. The other thing, I really love this about Drexel, they share the basketball so much. They lead the league in assists per game, about 16 assists per contest. They also lead the league in assist to turnover ratio. And I think both of those things could be really important for Drexel coming into this weekend. That's going to be a really pivotal couple of games in terms of the league standings, because you have Drexel, they're 9-3. You have North Carolina A&T, they're 10-2. So it is tight in terms of the conference standings.
It is tight, and it's going to get even tighter as we come down the stretch. Lots of excitement to come. Monica, as always, thank you for your time, and we look forward to checking in next week. Fans, you can keep up to date on CAA women's basketball by following CAA Basketball on X and CAA Sports on Instagram and Facebook. Enjoy the games, and we'll see everyone next week.